What's going on, my friends? So, I've talked about this before, this Patriot Front situation, or Patriot Feds, or Federal Patriot Front. I mean, remember when they allegedly arrested a bunch of them and then loaded them into their U-Haul truck illegally? In the Patriot Front's rental truck. They let them all go. They walked them over after they marched around Washington or something, right? And then this recent one where they were marching and the cops blocked everybody from letting them go down. Oh, but during the arrest, that's what I wanted to talk about. They didn't take their masks off, their headbands, it looked like they either had cameras on, they had backpacks on, they handcuffed them with their backpacks on and their masks on. Now, in my younger years, I was, I used to get in a lot of trouble. And there's no effing way that police are going to leave you with your backpack on, things in your pockets, and a mask and a hat on while you're handcuffed. Once you're in custody, they're getting your ID, they're searching you, they're taking everything off you, your shoelaces, your belt, all that shit. But they're going to leave you with your backpack with your hands cuffed, right? And your mask. Come on, man. I mean... Is anybody else catching the federal agent vibe from the Patriot Front? You know what I mean? Like you have the president at a historically black college, HBU, whatever the fuck it is, right? Historically black college universities. It's saying that the greatest threat to the American public is white supremacy. I thought that maybe it was the military-industrial complex and the corporations that have taken over our nation and are using our federal government in order to supersede the Constitution of the United States, right? They want to circumvent the First Amendment, of course, right? Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, freedom of redressing our grievances, and what's the other one? I forget, but there's five of them, right? There's 5 points. But anyway, my point is that the police actually, well, you can petition the government. That's right, and the police actually protect these guys over and over and over again. How come when they arrested, they said 30 of them, and we didn't get any names or any of that stuff, really? You know what I mean? And when everybody was following, and some people still think that they're white supremacist groups, so you could hear them yelling at them go home. But the police are blocking the entrance to the subway, so you can't see where they're going, where they're coming from, any of that, right? I mean, it's a little crazy, and they're marching left, 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 right, left. They even got a drummer in there, keeping the rhythm, the cadence. You know what I mean? I mean, this is a federal psyop on the citizens, right? Those are all federal agents, right? And they're using it to promote this. They're going to get rid of the First Amendment, and they're also working on the Second Amendment. Because if you can disarm the people and keep them quiet, they become compliant, right? And you can manufacture all the consent that you want, right? I mean, we're not getting the Patriot Front list, and we're not getting the Epstein list, I guess, right? And nobody sees this shit, man. They're just using this as another excuse to take more of our rights away, and to keep the people butting each other's heads, right? Just like I said, during the 2020 BLM or the George Floyd protests, they had federal provocateurs in there, right? And they smash up buildings, they start and then once that starts, it's easy for that for people to get caught up in it. I've been in riots in Boston, because they broke up parties and those things go south quick. The mind of a group like that, it's like a creature of its own. It's got a mind of its own. And, you'll do shit that you probably normally wouldn't do just because you get swept up in the whole, craziness of it all, But they're trying to push this whole white supremacy thing, and it's just more separation, If they can keep us at each other's throats over race or religion or whatever, right? Political party that you follow, ideology, things like that, you know what I mean? Then they can control us, you know? It's so much easier. If you're mad at somebody or you're afraid, that's even better. If you're mad, they can still use you, but if you're afraid, oh man, they love that fear, you know? And they want people to attack each other, you know? They want people to fight in the streets. You know, like I was saying, during the George Floyd protests, they had federal agent provocateurs and that. And same thing on January 6th. I know people don't want to hear it, but they did. And I know people on both sides. The people who are like, well, January 6th, it was no big deal. And then the people like, well, the protests were mostly peaceful. Like they're falling into it. You know what I mean? We got to understand, like, look, they're trying to fuck you. They're trying to fuck me. They're fucking all of us. You know what I mean? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They're going full throttle on this shit. You know? I understand people like, oh, you know, I don't like the Republicans, and you know, I hear people, I don't like the Democrats. I don't like either of them either. The parties, I'm saying. You know, the people mean well, you know? I know that most of the liberal, I considered myself a liberal progressive for basically my whole life up until recently, you know, because whatever they're saying is liberal progressive in Washington is not what I am. You know, I'm still for freedom of speech and, you know, people to live their life, the pursuit of happiness, you know, and do what they need to do in relative privacy, I should say. You know, it's just it's getting a little ridiculous. And you know, instead of joining along class lines, right? We're the 99%. We should be together. You know, are you gonna find racists in either group? Yes. You know, you're gonna find black racists. You're gonna find white racists, Hispanic racists, Asian racists, but they're not the majority. I mean, I don't think they're the majority. You know, sometimes they're the loudest ones that you hear because that's what the feds want to promote. They want to promote separatism amongst us all, right? They want to separate us. We're easily manipulated and controlled if we're angry, afraid, and separate from each other. You know, that's just my 2 thoughts on this fucking Patriot Front thing. It's crazy. It's crazy, and people falling for it. You know, I don't understand it. I don't. Have a great day, everybody.